wreck. He do. I'm planning my next steps. Defeat you if you ain't heard I'm that. Sequel, award-winning, magnificent, ain't no one that's my equal. Prequel, I'm the lethal, some say unbelievable. Who? Rich Peas, he make it do what it do. Who knew? Album 2, in my mind I chose to deliver to you. On your porch, kick the box like UPS do. I ain't through with this dose of truth. One too many ain't shoot. Why would I choose to inform you? I'm letting loose 59 milli, pot of stove, I'm cooking goose. You know, I'm back and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Why am I excited? I'm excited because today is 1 month. You heard me? 1 month. I've been streaming now on Twitch for 1 month. I'm not 1 month in on YouTube. However, I'm still excited because we're gonna get there. But right now, remember what I said before, celebrate the little moments, just the little things, right? Little wins. And today is a win. Why? Because I've been streaming now for 1 month. I did it. I think I've streamed just about every day. There may have been a day or maybe one day out of all of them that I didn't stream, but it's still been a month. Out of that month, we're gonna revisit what is some of the highlights. What are some of the things that happened? What are some of the takeaways? You know, what didn't I expect? And so with that being said, I'm gonna take a little teeny weeny break. Okay, why am I gonna take this break? I'm gonna take this break because I'm going to play a little music. What music am I gonna play? I have a song that I want to play, and it's something that is different. I'm pretty sure you never heard it. If you heard it, let me know in the chat. But here's the song. So I'm gonna play it, all right? Y'all tell me what y'all think about this song. Like I said, it's different, but I thought it was pretty good. I'm not saying it's apropos for what this stream is. I'm not saying it means something for what I'm doing on here, but it is something that I want you to take a listen to, all right? Because y'all will hear it on here. Pretty sure in the future, y'all will hear it on here, okay? So here we go. Tell me what you think about it. Okay. Let's go. I'm here for the ride. Feeling so good. First month in. Come on right back. Y'all make sure y'all following. Make sure you're following. But we still got our goal, 30. So make sure, click that follow button. Just wanted y'all to hear this vibe. I thought this was a vibe. Yeah, we gonna party over here. Come on. Don't get wild. Told you. I thought this was a fire song. So I was like, yo, I want to play this on the string. Come on. Come on. I told you. We gonna party it out. How we gonna party it out? Because it's the 1 year, or excuse me, 1 month anniversary, right? Celebrating the little wins. So yes, I'm not an emotional mess, but I am feeling kind of sentimental right now because every day, possibly except one, I streamed, got on here, connected with you guys. We're now at 24 followers. So listen, it's an exciting day. That's 24 followers on Twitch. Do we have followers on YouTube? Yes, we do. Well, I don't know what they call followers or subscribers. Matter of fact, let's see what it's called. 1 second. We're going to find out because I want to know what it is. Is it subscribers or is it followers? Boom, 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 boom. On YouTube, it's subscribers. So currently, we have 12 subscribers on YouTube. We have 24 followers on Twitch. And we are making progress. We are making waves. We are doing our thug thizzle and helping people be better versions of themselves because that's what we do over here, right? Make sure that you take a look at things like my shorts and things like that. They are available for you to see right now on YouTube and on Twitch and on TikTok and on Instagram. So I got shorts, I got reels, you know what I'm saying, of some of the most crazy things that I've said. Not crazy, but really things that just help people to be better versions by giving them another way of thinking about the things that they're going through and the things that they could do better or that they can make another decision on or just another understanding of a certain issue. Okay, so that's what we're doing. So I always tell y'all to tell a friend to tell a friend. That's how we connect. That's how we grow as a community, right? Give me 1 second, cause woo, I'm gonna tell you this. Sometimes, I don't be eating the things that I be needing to eat, and I be getting a lot of flack for it because then my allergies start kicking in. So there's that. I'm not really getting what the song say. I'm not being an emotional mess right now, but it looks like that because my allergies is crazy. Um, But I tell you one thing that I am going to talk about right now, and I'm going to let you know in advance that I'll be here for now, probably for about another hour and a half or so, um, because it is supposed to storm in the area that I live in, and so you got to get prepared, right? There's things you got to get from the store. There's things you got to get, um, from the electronic store like batteries and things like that, right? And we could probably just go to Walmart and get it all. Um, But the point is that whenever there's a storm coming, you have to be prepared for it, right? So that's what we're talking about. You got to be prepared for the storm that's coming. A lot of times you don't know that the storm is coming because, like today, right? Today, I went outside And when I went outside, the day actually didn't seem that bad. About 50 degrees, weather was really good, sun shining, right? It seemed like it's shaping up to be a good day. If you don't watch the weather, if you don't listen to the forecast, if you don't look at it on your iPhone or your weather app or whatever to see what the weather is about to be coming up, you would have went outside today and said, "Oh, okay, it's pretty mild. Feels good out here." You know what I'm saying? I don't need no jacket. I can go out there, like I normally have with my, you know, sweatshirts or my hoodie or whatever, and just kind of hang out. And that would be ill-advised. Well, it will work for today, but come tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, that whole idea changes. And so, with that being said, if you look at your daily life, right, and the storms that you have to deal with that are coming in your personal life, in your business, in your professional life, right? Like you still have to be prepared for those, right? And you kind of still prepare the same way, which is you have certain resources, certain tools, certain ideas and understandings. So that way, when the storm comes, you can use those tools. You can rely on those ideas. You can use those fresh batteries. You know what I'm saying? Put the battery in your back to keep going. Because there's times where a storm may come and you feel like you want to give up, right? It gets cold outside. And you feeling like, oh, I just got to be mean to everybody, or and it's only because in this moment you're thinking from the storm, you're thinking from inside the storm, that you feel like you want to just flip on everybody, that you don't want to be warm and inviting. You want to just go haywire. And like I said, that's generally because you're in a storm and you can't see any other way other than the way that you just already know. However, if you prepare for the storm, then the storm can come, but it won't seem as harsh. You won't seem as harsh. You know what I mean? Don't let the outside environment control how you do you. So if you're a nice person and you like to look out for people and you like to make sure that people get the best things when dealing with you, right? They have the best experience when dealing with you, then you have to be prepared for the storms, and you have to know that that storm is not going to take you out, even though it may be going all around you and it's just going wild and you got all kinds of stuff happening. That still doesn't mean that you have to follow suit with what's going on around you, right? And that's a knowing, and a lot of time that's knowing that you're prepared, right? And if you're not prepared, you still know that this is not going to be always, right? But that's still getting prepared, because that's mentally prepared. That's you in your head knowing that I'm good. No matter what, I'm gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm trying to get people to understand, even when you talk about, being 1 month in and looking at all that's come with this stream. There's been things that I didn't know. There's been things I had to learn. There's been ways I've had to grow. There's been resources I need to put into place, right? That going in, I didn't know that. I didn't know I was going to have to do all of that. I didn't know for me to do this style of stream, which is more like a talking head style of stream, I didn't know I was still going to have to do a lot of things that if I had another kind of stream, I would have to do, right? Because I'm still going to have to do some of those other things for where my stream is going. But for now, there's still a ton of things I ended up having to do. What are some of those things? Right? What are some of those things that I had to do? Well, I had to, one, go way deeper into Twitch than I realized I would have to, right? Because there's a lot of setup things that I had to do. Not because I wanted to do it, it was because if this is the norm when it comes to streaming on anybody's channel, I gotta at least have majority of what the norm has. Does that make sense? Like, because you can't be totally different. You can be different, but you want at least the basics of what your category is, which I had to figure out what that looked like, right? So as I'm sitting there dealing with um the research of every other people in this type of um category, it's like, hmm, okay, so you're telling me I have to do this, and this. Okay, can I do that? Pretty sure. Pretty sure. Now, was I gonna do it all at the same time? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. Um, yeah, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Back to what I'm saying. So that's where I'm going with this, is that if you're prepared for the storm, if you're prepared for the things that could possibly come, the things that could possibly make you feel like it's too much going on, you can survive a lot longer and pretty much thrive even during a storm, right? So, because I have some more things I have to do, I went out earlier today. That's why I'm streaming so late. Normally, you know me, I stream earlier. Um, but I'm streaming later today because of that simple fact that I had to get prepared. Now, there's some more things that I'm going to do to get prepared this afternoon, but in this moment, there's I wanted to make sure I came on here because I wanted to tell you not only to be prepared for the storm, but I also want to tell you that I will be back on here a little bit later to stream again today. Why am I streaming multiple times today? Because today is my 1 month anniversary, so I'm gonna be back on here. I might be on here 3 different times because I know I have another meeting later on tonight. And so after that meeting, I may drop back on late night and really get into some other type of stuff. What might that be? We'll have to see. You'll have to follow so that way you can get notification when I come back on, and then you'll be able to see what's going on, right? What's happening. Yeah. So, um, yeah, it's with that that I'm trying to, help you guys to know that all you have to do is get prepared. You might not even know what that looks like, right? But these days, it's easy to do some research. It's easy to look it up. What type of things might you want to have? What type of things did a normal person have if there's a certain type of storm, right? Because, and then you have to remember that depending upon where you are, right? You following? Depending upon where you are, that could be location, that could be business, that can be in life, that could be age. All of those things can be differences, right? So if the storm comes, and let's say I live in Oklahoma or North Texas, my storm, or the storm that is coming, might be a tornado, right? If I'm living in, let's say, Chicago, Ohio, my storm might not necessarily be tornadoes. They might get them, but not as much. but they'll more than likely get lake effect snow, which is feet, right? Their snow is measured in feet. So that preparation looks different than a tornado preparation, right? If I'm in the south, southeast, you know what that is. That's going to end up being hurricanes, maybe a couple tornadoes, but most of the time it's going to be hurricane. Um, that's more than likely what you're going to get down there, right? You might get some flooding, right? And so those are things you have to prepare for. Northeast, you know it's going to be snow, hands down, pounds of snow, tons of snow, right? Southeast, right? Like LA, in that area, somewhere in there through to the Bay. You know you got to be prepared. Your emergency probably is going to be earthquakes. Earthquakes, possibly flooding, maybe, but actually probably not. It probably wouldn't be flooding. If I remember correctly, you know what the song says? It never rains in Southern California, right? It rains, but not much. Not much. But they will get some earthquakes. So your preparation just looks different depending upon where you are and what the storm is, right? If you're in Arizona, right? If you're in Arizona, New Mexico, your storm might be dust storms, dust nados. That might be your storm. That preparation looks different than the preparation on the East Coast, right? So that means that when you're doing your preparation, you have to take inventory. This is the same thing I was talking about when I was talking about goal setting, right? Because being prepared for a storm is analogous to being prepared to reach your goal. It's kind of the same. Remember, I told you that all things connect, like all dots. There's connections with most things, right? Everything is connected. And so if everything is connected, then the same thing it takes to do this is the same thing that's going to take to probably do that with slight changes, right? Slight degrees of change. So in looking at preparing for a snowstorm, that more than likely is going to be the same almost any area you go in if it's going to be snow. But what you don't know is if you're halfway down the country, more than likely, yes, you'll get some snow, but it also might be accompanied with ice, right? But up north, it might not be ice. It's going to be all snow, which is a different type of preparation than if you have it with ice or with sleet. Like those things look different. So if you have a storm that then comes and it starts off raining, right? Let's just say it's raining. The temperature then drops, which means that all of that water that's on the ground now freezes, turns to ice. And if that temperature keeps dropping, it turns to snow. So now all of the snow is falling. It's not rain anymore, and it's now snow. So now I'm covered in snow on top of ice, right? As the storm passes over, what do you get? You get the temperatures that starts to try to come back up. Now, instead of it falling as snow anymore, now it starts to fall as freezing rain, right? So now freezing rain is falling. Freezing rain is falling on top of that snow, which then packs all of that super tight, right? So how long is it going to take for that to melt now that you have ice, snow, ice? How long is it going to take? It may take you, or it may take days, if not weeks, for you to be able to melt all of that because you have, in essence, an ice cream sandwich, right? And so, even if the snow starts to melt, because it's covered in ice on both sides, it starts to freeze again. So now you just have a thick layer of ice. Ice, and as long as the temperature is sub 40 degrees, a lot of times it's going to stay frozen, which means that the temperatures are going to have to go up back into at least the 50s for that bad boy to really get to melt. So these are things that you have to be prepared for. If by some chance you end up putting down, what do they call that stuff? Salt brine, right? Or some kind of sand, right? Before it starts raining, you're trying to prepare, so you put it down beforehand. What happens? Well, if it rains first, it's gonna wash it away. So now your preparation doesn't mean a thing. So what do? Right? Now you might as well just wait. You might as well just wait. Wait till it starts to get into the snow. And then you can cover it maybe with some sand, right? Cover with some sand. So at least people would have things to have traction, right? I mean, if you think about it like that, and again, I'm not saying I'm not a snow plow person. I'm not a weather person. I'm just looking at the signs. I'm looking at what is generally um said when it comes to forecasting and stuff like that, right? And then you also look at what preparation looks like for these events over the years. You start to realize, okay, these are consistent things that are done or not done, and then you start to wonder, well, why is it done that way? But again, in this stream, I'm not necessarily no weather person, so I'm not trying to talk about the weather, but I am using that as a connection to the storms in your life, right? That you have to prepare for. Because if you prepare for it, it becomes a lot easier for you to win, even in a storm, because you can still make progress in a storm, right? I had the if you look back, and matter of fact, we can go back and I'll show you that on one of my previous videos, I tried to let you know that a storm, or excuse me, not a storm. How did I say it? How about I don't say it? How about I just show you? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna put it up. I'm gonna put it on the screen for you. Hold on. Where is it at? All right, here we go. So this one right here, right? This video right here. You see this? The goal is to keep stacking up wins. You know what I'm saying? We get past the losses. We get past the things that we think are negatives, and then we realize what the wins are. Now, I will say this though, because I don't think y'all even realize that a lot of times your losses can actually even be wins, right? How was that you say? Is that what I heard? Did you say that? How your losses wins? Because you learned something. Yes, you are a winner. Yes, you are a winner. But even your losses can be wins because you learned something, and that helps you from losing again, right? Because if you don't learn from your loss, you'll end up losing again. It's a circular thing. It goes around and round and round. The goal is to keep stacking up wins. So there you have it. I tried to tell you, right? That's the same thing. So even though you may not know what to do to prepare, once you go through it one time, if you're paying attention, you'll be able to prepare the next time there's that type of event, right? But you have to do the best you can to try to prepare. So yes, you may take some small losses. You might not have prepared totally adequately, and then you might have over prepared in some areas and under prepared in other areas, right? So you have to figure out how you can manage that for next time. Now, the areas that you over prepared in, maybe that can last you until the next storm. But the areas that you under prepared in, now you know some of the things to do different for the next storm, right? So that's something that you are going to have to do personally for your storm, because you don't know whether they're coming or not. You don't even know. Right now, you might be watching this video, but you're in the storm right now and not even realize that you're in the storm, because that's how life is. It's hard to see you're in the storm when you're in it. So all you can do is prepare for an upcoming storm. And when you do that, what you'll realize is you might be preparing for right now. You know what I'm saying? Like you're putting things in place that then helps you to even get through your right now storm that you didn't even realize was going on. Then you get into the next storm and you're like, oh, I'm good. I got everything that I learned in the last time, not even knowing I was in the storm, but now I'm good. This one ain't. I see it coming. I see the storm coming, right? Because that's another thing that happens. That once you've been in a storm, you started prepared for the storm, and you actually got through and came out the other side and realized that was a storm. Then your next one, you'll see it coming a mile away. You'll be like, oh, I know what that is. I know what that is. You know, and instead this time I'm gone. I'm not even gonna go around that way. I'll take another route because I see that storm. And everybody else is like, no, 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 we should go that way. Come on, this is gonna get us there faster. And you like, mm-mm, no. You end up like, I'm going a different way. I'm going a different way. So make sure that you're preparing for your storm. Make sure that you put things in place right now. And again, you might not know what the storm is, but the only way that you can really kind of figure it out and do some research on the storms that can come in the area or of your life is we just looked at a YouTube video talking about the wins and losses. However, most things you can find on YouTube. You can look up something on YouTube or you can Google it or whatever, right? I wouldn't say to go through Chat GPT, but you could. But if you go through YouTube, you can look up stuff like, other people who are um in the same line of work as you, other people who are parents, right? Other people um who are divorced, right? You can look up um anything and get other people's takes on it, not so you can follow what they did or didn't do. It's more so you can just get more data points, right, of experiences. Because you have to think about things in the form of your own situation, in the form of your own life, and how these things that people are saying can apply to your life. Because the whole point is to prepare for the storm. And so, because you don't know how the storm is coming, you need as much examples of storms as you can. And so you'll hear what other people have done, right? When SHIT happens, right? So if you look at what somebody else has done in these stressful situations, then it it, it gives you a better thought process. So whenever something does come up, you either see it coming or you're well prepared to go through it, right? There's a lot of examples online. There's a lot of people giving what happened in there. Like I've seen some videos on YouTube that talked about what people did when they were doing the cannonball run, right? How did they get through the cannonball run? Even though some people made it on the whole cannonball run, doing over a buck 50 the whole way, there's other people who didn't make it, right? For every person that actually made it through without getting pulled by the police and all that kind of stuff, there's a lot of people who did, right? Y'all know what the cannonball run is, right? Where you go from New York to California, right? As fast as possible. Um, and so yeah, there's people who didn't make it, and if you listen to their stories, I'm not saying they're all the same because they're not. It varied in a lot of different ways. And so some of the people who did make it, if you listen to their stories, they say that they watched other people's runs, they found out what they did, they found out where they didn't do too good, and then they made assurances for those issues that those other people had, right? Certain type of car, because a certain type of car is going to be reliable than this type of car, right? This type of car has more space, and you needed that space to hold more gas, right? So that way there's less time that you're going to stop to get gas, which then wastes time. So there's all of those type of things. And then you look at, some of what other people have done, when it comes to parenting, right? Because you don't know where the storm is coming from. So you just have to be prepared for almost any type of storm. But those storms that you're going to encounter more than likely are going to be storms based on you, based on the things that you're involved in, right? Because a storm may come if you are let's say you're a hiker, right? You go on a mountain. That's a different type of storm than I'm going to ever encounter because I don't go hiking. Well, that's not true. Every now and then I will. But but for the most part, I'm not mountain climbing, right? Hiking and mountain climbing is two different things. I'm not mountain climbing. I'm not doing things like that. I'm not going out into extreme environments, you know, or whatever. And so because I don't do that, there's certain things that I don't have to prepare for. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to prepare for that because I'm not going to be in that environment. Now, I will say this though, just because I'm not going to be in that environment doesn't mean that it wouldn't be good to at least be familiar with what that preparation could look like, right? Just because I'm not going to go mountain climbing doesn't mean I don't know, I don't need to know how to use what is it called? A carabiner, like a carabiner with rope and the mountain climbing gear, right? Doesn't mean I don't need to know how to use it. Why? Because let's just say, for illustration purposes only, let's say I'm stuck on the top of a building and I need to get down, and there is a rope, right? Or the rescue squad is trying to get me down, so they toss me the rope. But I don't know how to use the thing to be able to slide down the rope and hit the thing. You know what I mean? Behind me to keep myself from just falling straight down on a free fall. What's that mean? If I would have at least watched a video of somebody else that climbed mountains, at least I'm familiar with the technique. I'm familiar with what they did. I might not know how to do it, but at least I'm familiar with it. I've seen it. So I'm like, okay, I get the concept of what's happening, right? But if I've never seen it, then I would have no clue of what that is. No clue of how to use that appropriately. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying you just have to you have to be prepared for any type of storm, but that doesn't mean that you got to know it all. You just want to have seen examples of quite a bit, right? Because if you see people that have fallen, you like, oh, I don't want to do that. And so sometimes people get not paranoid. What is it called when you're like um um stuck, petrified? Is it petrified? No, when you freeze, I guess. Let's call it freeze. Let's call it freeze, right? Some people will freeze because they don't know what they've never seen it before, and they have no concept of that thing, so they don't know what to do, right? One of the things that I like to do a lot is drive, right? Because I've been driving since I was young. You know what I'm saying? I've been driving since I was young. And because I've been driving since I was really young, I'm really good at it. And that's one of the reasons why I like to drive is because it helps me not think about the problems and the storms that I'm going through in my life, right? So not escaping the problem, right? Like I'm not saying that I'm escaping the problem. What I'm saying is I like to drive because I'm not having to think about them in the moment of driving. Because in the moment of driving, it clears my mind because I have to only think about what I'm doing, especially if I'm going down the highway doing 80 plus. There's no time to think about my problems. There's no time to think about my storm, right? There's only time to act. Watch out for cars. I gotta watch out for police. I gotta watch out for, animals jumping in the road, like all of that. So it basically frees my mind to not think about the things that are going on that are stressful in my life, right? For me, it's a way of escape for a little bit to to rethink about what's happening. Now, when I say rethink, that happens after. So after I come off the drive, I'm able to the issue comes right back, but when it comes back, I'm coming back in almost like a third person, right? Like I'm almost looking at the subject from the outside that I'm thinking about because I've now pulled myself out of it by driving and not thinking as if I'm in it. Why did this person do this to me? Why did this person do that to me? Or whatever, right? I've driven, released everything out of my mind, and gotten to a really zen type space because I'm not thinking about those things and removing myself from it. So now when I come back to look at it, I'm looking at it from a wider view that I'm able to see some of the players, some of the things, why could they did that? Why could they did that? Because I'm not the person now that's in it. Now I'm the person that has removed themselves and is able to look down on the situation, right? But that comes from me preparing myself for these situations because I realized how I can release the thought of me being in it and get it out of my mind. And I do that a lot by driving. Some people do it by going to work out, right? Because like or going for a run, right? Because a lot of times when you're running, you're thinking about the rhythm in which you're running, right? Feet hitting the ground. Some people have to go somewhere and put on some headphones, some noise canceling headphones, and just turn on music, right? Because what you're trying to do is take your brain off of the subject. So when you think about the subject again, you could look at it from a different standpoint. It's an interesting concept, but for some reason, it works. It does work. You'll get a better view. You can come back to the situation. You could and you can see also if you were the wrong one. You can say, you know what, my bad. I apologize. I didn't mean to come off that way. I didn't mean for me. I didn't mean to act like that. You know what I'm saying? That's not the way I want to come off. That's not the way I want to act. And so I can apologize, say I'm sorry, and then say also, well, here's what I'm gonna do in the future so this doesn't happen again. Right? That's being accountable, right? But that's also comes from preparation and knowing how you operate and trying to be prepared for the storm. So once you've done that the first time and you had to apologize, the second time that something comes up that makes you feel that way again, you can do one of two things. Either you can go do your thing, the thing that you said that gets your mind off of it, you can go do that immediately earlier than going through the argument or the storm at the time. You could step away, be like, you know what? Let's come back to this in a minute. I'll be back in a little bit. We come back to that. We'll finish up this conversation later. That way, you're not out of character. You're not out of yourself, right? Because you're prepared. I know I'm prepared. I can step out, go handle what I got to handle, and then I can come back to that disagreement or that storm or that issue, right? Now, here's the thing. Because you start to realize what that is, for a time, you'll start doing it that way. I'll start stepping away, right? I'll start stepping away. But when you really start to get a gist of being prepared for the storms in your life, you get to a point that now I don't have to step away. I could be in the storm, still keep my peace, still understand where I'm at in this, still can see the players and what's happening, right? I can see everything that's happening on the board and operate the way I used to have to leave, get myself together, and then come back. Now I can do that in the moment because in myself, I'm prepared. I've seen these storms before. I can see when this storm is coming. Now I understand how I can operate to be the best version of myself because I see the storm, because I've seen it in advance. Does that make Am I making any sense here? Is anybody hitting that follow button? Is anybody liking what we got going on? We are literally putting down some really good stuff. I need y'all to really know that this is it's kind of simple, right? It's kind of simple. It's a concept that if you really pay attention, you'll see it. But it's one that people don't do because they're like, well, this is me. This is how I do things. I you know what I mean? Like I boom, boom, boom. No, you don't have to do that. Why? Because you're prepared. When you're prepared, you can operate different. Have you noticed that there's people out there who, um, you know what? Here you go. Here's a great example. Back in the day, and when I say back in the day, maybe it was what? It was back when Uber and Lyft first started, right? When Uber and Lyft first started and came to the area that I lived in. Um, I was driving Uber and I went to pick up a rider. When I went and picked up this rider, um, I had to pick them up from a Harris Teeter. And in that Harris Teeter, they had Starbucks, right? And so when I picked up this rider, she came out the Harris Teeter, had a big, I don't know, it might have been a caramel latte, whatever, you know what I'm saying, venti, whatever. I don't know, but it was big. It was a big one. She had her drink in her hand, she had her purse, and she had a bag. She came out, she set the drink on top of the car. She set the drink on top of the car, used the same hand to open the door. She opened the door, put her bags in, and she didn't go she didn't get the drink on top of the car. She got in, and then before she was able to reach up to get the drink, because she was reaching in to put the bags in, the drink slid off my roof, right? It slid off the roof of my car, fell on the ground, bust wide open, and I, being in the front seat, I said, "Oh shoot, your drink just fell." I said, you know what? I can just wait right here and you can run in the store and grab another one. She said, no, it's okay. It'll be all right. Got in the car and we drove off. And I asked her, are you sure? She was like, yeah. If it fell, I must not needed it anyway. I was mind blown. I was mind blown because in my life, once I go to get something, if I'm not able to get or do the thing that I went to get, even though I've already paid for it, I'm pissed. I'm pissed. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Somebody gonna get me another drink. You know what I'm saying? Well, she couldn't blame me because I didn't move the car, but really in that situation, it was nobody to blame except for herself because she set the drink on top of a roof that sloped. Right? My car was very clean, polished. So when she set the drink up there, it was not gonna stay. There was no way it was gonna stay. But the thing about it was I didn't see her put it up there at first. I only know that she put it up there because of the result of what happened. You know what I'm saying? So I know it had to be on the car. But the point is that it was the way in which it didn't rattle her. This was so phenomenal to see. It didn't rattle her. And it's interesting to me because I was around a lot of females who, and okay, no, I was around a lot of women who, when something like that would happen, they'd be flipping. Their day would be shot. They would be going off. Everything would be bad from there. You know what I'm saying? But it didn't rattle her. Not at all. It fell. She said, oh, well, I might have not needed it anyway. And went on with her day. With that type of attitude, I know she had a great day. Either way. And so that's what I'm saying. That's being prepared in yourself that either way it goes, I'm good. I'm okay. it's not going to change whether or not my day is going to be great or not. Right. And so in this moment, I'm having a great day. Why am I having a great day? Because I've been streaming for 1 month. 1 month I've been live with you guys. We've gotten up to 24 followers on Twitch. We've gotten up to 12 followers, subscribers on YouTube, right? Our views are going up on our clips that we're getting off these lives. That's a great thing. All I'm asking is that you tell a friend to come follow your man, Rich Bees, because here we're learning things. We're growing. We're being better versions of ourselves. Yes, we are locked and loaded. And that's what it's about, right? Because if you locked and loaded, you ready. You ready. It don't matter who come in that door. It don't matter what storm that's happening. You ready. You ready. But that all comes from preparation. And so if you think that your life experiences is the only thing that you need to be prepared for the upcoming storm, then you sadly misplaced your belief in the wrong area. Because that's using you can use your past. I'm an advocate of using your past. But what did I tell you before on another stream? If you want me to pull it up, I can pull it up. But what we talked about was stacking, right? Stacking your wins, because that too helps you to get prepared. But also it's a learning. You still got to bring in new information. Because as you keep stacking, you're going to keep going through more issues. You're going to keep going through having to go through more storms, right? But it's a difference between preparing for the biggest winter storm that has happened in a couple years to preparing for a slight rain with a little bit of chill weather. You know what I'm saying? What we used to call in North Carolina a cool Carolina night. You know what I'm saying? A quiet storm. You know what I'm saying? Preparing for a quiet storm and preparing for a winter storm is two different things. Hugely different, vastly different things, right? The quiet storm, you can use what you knew in the past. You can do what you grew through, right? But to prepare for what's coming up, you got to have some new input. You got to have some new tools. You got to have some new um, understandings, some new comprehension that you can use, because new storms you've never seen before. They could be bigger. They might not be bigger, but they might feel bigger because you've never seen it, right? Let's just say, for illustration purposes only, again, that I used to live in Alaska, right? Lived in Alaska. Let's say I lived in Alaska for 2 years. If I lived in Alaska for 2 years and then I come back to, not come back, let's just say I moved to, um, let's do it like this. Let's say New York. Let's say I lived in Alaska, but now I moved to New York. Okay. Lived in Alaska, moved to New York. If New York has a winter storm, I've dealt with storms in Alaska that is on the verge of tens feet, right? Like, so not 10 feet, 12 feet, you know what I mean? Like 20 feet worth of snow just in a weekend. Just matter of fact, over the course of maybe a day or two. You know what I'm saying? New York, they could get a foot. They can get a foot and a half, right? But it might be over the course of 3 days. It might even be over the course of maybe, let's say, a week. But it's different. Like, it's like New York storm, Alaska storm, winter storm is still going to be two different things. It'll probably be like a whiteout in Alaska, easy. New York, it may still have blizzard conditions, but it might not be a whiteout, and it might not be as serious because you do have a lot of buildings and you have a lot of coverage and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Where you don't have that in Alaska, not to the extent that you have it in New York, right? So my preparation, my understanding of what a storm is and what a storm can do would be different. If I go to New York, I'm probably over prepared, right? I'm probably over prepared because I know a winter storm to be this huge thing that's gonna potentially, make me have to pull out the sled and whatever just to get to the storm. It's gonna be like this for 6 to 8 months before I'm ever gonna see the ground again, type of storms. But New York, not so much, right? So that's why I'm saying if you have to look at where you are, what storms in your life, or excuse me, what course of your life you're going on, what is your trajectory, and then look for others to give you more examples of the type of storms that you may potentially go through. That's the reason why people say it's a benefit to have mentors, right? Mentors in the space in which you want to go in. So for instance, if I am going to be married, then why not find couples who've been married for 30 years, 40 years, right? Find couples who have already got through the time that you've gone through, or excuse me, that you're about to go through, right? A mentor can then coach you through that. They could then give you tools for you right on the front side. So that way, when the storm comes within the beginning of the marriage, you already know that that's possible. You and her, right? Or he and you know that could be possible. So when you handle it, you can handle it in a more in a way of a greater understanding that these are regular problems. They're not isolated to just you because that person sucks or this person don't know what they're doing or this person, I never should have married them type of thing, right? No, that's how you feel when you don't know what that storm looks like. But when you know what that storm looks like, you know that everybody goes through these type of problems and you might not have as many problems because you already know that it could be possible that these things can happen. So you address the way you move different. And which is what I go back to at the beginning. When I talked earlier, I said, once I know when that storm is coming, because I understand what this storm looks like, I can go around it. I can navigate this path a little bit different because I see it. I see it coming, right? And so that's why I'm saying right now that you have to get prepared. Get prepared. Because sometimes a storm may even it might look like I told you before, it might look like a quiet storm. It might look like you know, something minor, but it could be something major coming up. But if you're prepared and you know that this thing is possible and you know the way that these things kind of shape up and what they could do, you can be over prepared where it feels like it's not even a storm. It just feels like just a little issue, right? Like I just got a little itch, just got to scratch it. We good. We keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? If that thing happens, I probably didn't need it anyway, right? You can brush it off. You can brush your shoulders off and keep it pushing. Foot back on the gas for whatever that goal is, whatever that dream is, and we letting it fly. I told you all this goes together. The more I talk, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. The more you come back, the more you follow, the more you subscribe, the more you keep checking back in, you're gonna start to get the comprehension of how all this goes together. So this topic was about preparation, right? Preparing for the storms that are coming in your life because storms will come. But knowing that you'll still be good despite the storm, despite when it comes, you're still going to be good. You're still going to be grounded and be the best version of yourself that you can be in any given situation. That's what we're here for. That's what we do. And I'm telling you right now, if you even take any of this that I'm saying and put it and apply it to your life, I'm not saying to do it exactly like I'm saying. I'm saying to take it as more information for you to understand some concepts and ways in which you can move to get a better version of your life going and you can live the best life you want to. These are some of the things that help you to win. And when I say win, I ain't talking about having all the money, having all the cars, all the girls, like all of that is byproducts of you living your best life and being the best version of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Whichever way that you want to go with your life, whatever your goals and dreams are, all of that stuff is a byproduct of you being the best version of yourself, operating to your highest capacity. So if you can do that, you will win. You'll win in any way that you want to go. Okay. So I told y'all I'm not going to be on here long. I wanted to drop that little piece of nugget for you, right? I wanted to celebrate the fact that we've been streaming for 1 month consistently. Consistency is a big thing. Consistency in itself is a win. Know that. If you don't know anything else, know that. No, consistency is a win. Being prepared for your storms is a win, right? Being the best version of yourself is the biggest win because all of those other things will seem like child's play to being the best version of yourself. That can be hard. It may make you feel like you don't, you know, like everything is against you sometimes. It may make you feel that way. But when you realize that you have been, it actually makes you feel really good that I'm in that situation. There's no better way I could have handled it because you was even kill. You was able to do the things you needed to do. You handled it, communicated effectively, moved on with your life, and did the next thing. Right. So that's why I'm saying, like, even when it comes to the streaming thing, and yes, we've been streaming for a full month. I think some of these things that I've been able to learn has helped me to stream better, right? It's helped me to bring you guys better content. It's helped me to be able to deliver it in a way that I believe that you can get the concepts. I'm getting subscribers, I'm getting followers, I'm getting um, you know, people who are agreeing with the messages that I'm giving. But I believe that there's more. I believe that there's more people who need to hear this. I believe there's more people who need to understand these concepts and become the best version of themselves that they can. So hook them up, get them in touch, join, literally join the Discord. Because in the Discord, I'm going to make sure that is connected to the live, so you'll also know there where I'm when I'm streaming live. If you're on the Discord, we can have other questions. We can start to create more chat rooms and stuff because that's something that I ended up creating that I didn't even realize I was gonna have to create, which was a Discord server. So in my DC, um, you can get in there, join, go to richbees.com/links. Go to richbees.com/links, and you can click on the Discord button, right? Join the Discord. Join the Discord there. And that way you can be a part of the Rich Bees Discord server and the community at large that we're going to create with these concepts, these understandings, and we're going to help build each other up. So no matter what your idea is, no matter what your life is and what your goals are, we're going to help pour into that. We're going to help, talk you through some of the stressful things that's going on. And maybe we can, hook you up with a mentor or get you connected with somebody that's in the vein that you're trying to go into that you can communicate with. But you got to be people that you were. You got to be people who want to win. And you can't be trolls. You can't be anybody who's just trying to get to know more people. Like, I mean, you can, but the more thing is not necessarily get to know more people. The whole thing is for you to be the best version of yourself so you can win. That's why we're here, right? So each and every one of you can win. because that's what it's about. All right. So with that being said, I told y'all I'll be back on here later. Later, I think I'm gonna go more into this right here, talking about this the surprises, the wins and mistakes and stuff like that. Because have I had mistakes in the first 30 days? You're gonna have to come back to find out. You're gonna have to come back to find out. Because I can think of a couple right now. Anyway, you're gonna have to come back and find out. All right. Meantime, between time, I'm gonna go ahead and run up out of here so I can finish getting prepared, right? Because the storm is coming, so they say. And it's gonna be a very cold day, very wet day, icy day, snowy day, right? But hopefully I'll be able to navigate it like it's another day. It's another day. So thank you guys for checking me out today. Thank you guys for being a part of this community. And again, this is gonna be something different. Something different definitely for Twitch. The way that I'm bringing content and the type of content that I'm bringing. I know this is something different, and I know you don't get it from somebody who um, may have the type of music that I rap. If you go on there and you see the music and you listen to the music, my music almost does the same thing that I'm doing right now, talking to you, right? But it gives it to you it gives it to you in a different way through rap, but it's still building people up. Even though some songs may sound like it's tearing somebody down, there's another message behind that that gives you an understanding of why that happened and how you can turn around from making that the normal. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta listen. You gotta listen to the music. I have a song called "Listen to the Music." It's not public though. It's you know what I mean. It's not published, but it's a full on song called "Listen to the Music." Matter of fact, me and my dad wrote it back when I was 13. I think I was 13 at the time, because me and my dad both write music. But yeah, it's called "Listen to the Music," and we were talking about that. It's about the words in the song, right? Yeah. So again, I'm gonna get up on out of here. Thank you guys for coming today. Um, love you all. Hopefully, you be the best version of yourself, even through the storm. I'll be back on here a little bit later. All right, Rich Bees. You know who it is. You know what it is. It's Rich Bees, the real Rich Bees. I'm out.